Man, oh man, this girl just don't get it. Claressa Shields bets against Gervonta Tank Davis, $100,000 that he will lose. In this video, I'll tell you who she believes he would lose to and the stipulations of this bet. Man, what up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. Now, the support has been phenomenal. Phenomenal on the channel. Let's keep it going. I appreciate everybody. But Claressa Shields, she just don't get it. Claressa Shields has made a wager against Gervonta Tank Davis, right? You'll see it on the screen. Shannon Sharp says, have my bread ready with the Tank fight, right? Claressa Shields interjects herself. What's the bet? I got 100,000. Lil Tank ain't beating no dang Shakur Stevenson. Bruh. What the is going on with Claressa Shields? Now, I know. Some people, oh man, Eagle, that's a reach. Is it? I ain't even said nothing. The reason this is shocking is, let me take it back a step further, because I don't think, I want y'all to get the real full picture, right? Shakur Stevenson signed to Zuffa Boxing, right? That's what this is right here. He signed. I've already made a video about that. Check it on the channel. Claressa jumps in the mix. Ain't nobody gonna beat him. Cool. You're friends with him. That's your little bro. You didn't say congrats on getting the bag with Zuffa. You just said nobody beating him, right? You didn't say congratulations on your new deal, nothing like that, right? Cool. We'll excuse that. That's your man's, that's your homie though. You know, you're telling the world no one could beat him, whatever, right? But let's keep going on. Then later, after the announcement, Shannon Sharp started doing an interview with Shakur, and Shannon Sharp was cooking, right? And he was like, basically, your style of fight is not my cup of tea. I don't enjoy your fights. You got skill, but for all intents and purposes, you're rather boring. You know, I'm not a fan of it. And you would have to turn up the heat to be mentioned with the greats, the Floyd Mayweather. Like I said before, Jake Paul, he's not on my level. Hard work, dedication. To be mentioned with the Haglers, the Hearns, the Sugar Ray Leonards, the Roberto Durans, right? The Julio Cesar Chavez, whoever, right? That's pretty much what Shannon Sharp was saying. If you want me to make a follow-up video to the nightcap and react to that, let me know. Just put nightcap in my comment section. If enough people put nightcap, then I could talk about Shannon Sharp, Shakur Stevenson, and their interaction. But these are the cliff notes. So they started beefing and going back and forth, saying their piece. Fine, whatever. Again, peep your girl Claressa the Quote Shields jumping in the mix. This beef had nothing to do with, like, okay, that's your friend. I get that. But you already said nobody's beating him. Now you're like, ha, 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 LOL, Shakur funny as heck, right? Okay, still nothing too crazy, you're thinking, right? And then you post one little clip of you running. I done lost. Actually, this is old, right? That's an old clip. That's a pin clip. That's a pin clip from you, right? So, cool. My question to you guys, and this is why I said the girl just don't get it, is the reality is, you know what? Let me keep going. I feel like y'all deserve, because when I make these points, when I make these videos, trust me, we well educated, and I'm going to make it make sense, right? So I want to keep going. Look, Shakur said, when you step in the ring, you're in harm's way. Unc said he disagreed, but that's because he never got in the boxing ring and put his life on the line. Again, Shakur just did the interview with Shannon Sharp So he's going back and forth with him. Who jumps in the mix? Claressa Shields, right? No cap. Right? No cap, says Claressa Shields. No cap. Right? Then she says, Shakur was cooking. Right? So now you might start to feel me. Shakur's cooking. No cap. Shakur funny as heck. Right? Ain't nobody gonna beat him. And then one clip of you actually training for your fight, right? Jumping in men's business, right? Then Shannon Sharp says, have my money ready with the Tank fight, right? He's like, we ain't got nothing else to talk about. I'm putting my money on Gervonta Tank Davis if y'all fight. And he said that he'll bet $100K that Gervonta beats Shakur Stevenson. And then Claressa jumps in. What's the bet? What's the bet? Like, bruh, where did you even come from, cuh? What's the bet? I got $100K. Lil Tank ain't beating no dang Shakur Stevenson. Now, do you see where I'm coming from? You got this bogus Zeus network fight in Atlanta in 5-6 weeks or whatever it is, right? You supposed to be cutting weight. Allegedly, you got an opponent that you're trying to sell and gas up and make us believe that your opponent is this tricky opponent for you. And she's so strong, even though she got a 0% knockout ratio, can't bust a grape in a fruit fight. But you want us to come out and support the same people you call broke and bald-headed and all that. You want those same people to pony up and make it rain and, oh yeah, the dress code is nude and diamonds. And you want people to get glittered up like you on your Snapchat filters with the bedazzled and all this stuff. And you want the wigs and extensions and, you know, people coming out looking sharp with your whatever dress code. Yeah, we doing in sheer diamonds or whatever you talking about, right? How you gonna have a dress code when you can't dress? Bro, it's like this girl is all over the place. There's something on the plane. Like, she's all over the place. How do you have a dress code and you telling bees what to wear and you can't even dress? You look like 4 different teachers. You be like looking like a science teacher mixed with a PE teacher mixed with a lunch lady. You be looking like different people on the schoolyard, the campus. You be looking like multiple different. Sometimes you look like the principal. You be looking like the students. You be looking like the detention desk. You be looking like the lunch lady, you know, mixed with the PE coach, the PE teacher. You be looking like a substitute teacher sometimes. You look like all types of academia. Like, it's crazy. You're going to tell people how to dress. Oh, it's a dress code. Y'all got to dress like me. If the world dressed like you, never mind. Anywho, back to it. Don't try to get me sidetracked, because I might get sidetracked. My brain go left real quick. Anyway, you're trying to prove to us that you got this challenging and difficult fight, but you all in Shakur's mix, Shannon Sharp's mix, Nightcap and Ocho Cinco's mix, a beef that has nothing to do with you. I ain't heard the whole thing, but the clips, and I did listen to good portion of it, I believe, right? They didn't mention you at all. Zuffa Boxing didn't mention you at all. They said, we got Shakur, he signed, we try to line up some fights for him, whatever. So you're nowhere in the mix, right? And then Shannon Sharp, with the person he had on his show, right, is like, have my money, have my bread if you fight Tank. And you're like, what's the bet? What's the word? Where did you come from? Aren't you supposed to be on a treadmill, elliptical, in a sauna suit, in a sauna somewhere, in a swimming pool? Like, I never really liked the K Scott fight, but now I just outright hate it because I already didn't give K Scott like this grandiose chance, right? OF model, 42, no knockouts. Because here's the thing, Claressa is a good fighter, skill fighter, and then she has more experience in the pros than you do. She's a good fighter. What is your X factor here? You're older. You have no power. Claressa, she don't really have the most power. She only got 3 little knockouts, but she does have like a rugged style, like where she tries to bring it. This is probably why they picked her, because they trying to boost up those knockouts, right? Everybody talking about how Claressa don't really got pop. She don't got crack. So you try to give her a 42-year-old soccer mom, like, yeah, and see if she can knock that out. So I already didn't like the fight, but now I just outright hate it because let's look at it. If you got the time to be all in the mix of Shannon Sharp and what Shakur got going on, how can you possibly be training to your fullest? Because I've been around boxers in their fight camp. I've been there for fight week. I know some boxers get grumpy. They don't want to talk. You're cutting weight. It's, it gets intense, right? That being said, she has all this weight to lose. If you were really in a hard training camp, right? You got these videos where Papoose popping out looking like Kazam with a blue do-rag, right? Looking like Shazam or something. And you doing videos talking about how you're going to be a kick streamer, arguing with fans. You setting up your kitchen like HSN, QVC. You selling these little voodoo dolls, right? These little fake Funko Pops, Funky Pops. Like, it don't even look good. How your Funko Pop look funky? How your Funko Pop look great value? It like I've seen Tupac ones and Michael Jordan and Michael Jackson ones. Yours looks the worst. Yours looks like I've seen figurines on a wedding cake that look better than that. You know what I mean? Yours look like, I don't know. It's a voodoo doll, bro. Yours look like Coraline if she was from Flint. You know what I mean? Like, it look weird. Like it's made out of a cake. You know how people design the cakes to look like certain things and cut through it? Like, yours just look weird and cheap. You know what I mean? Papoose went to Africa and a tribe made this or something. You know what I mean? Like, just look at the braid. Look, the braid looking like apartment complex speed bumps, painted blue. Bro, you got a Michael Jackson nose. You got no mouth, which we know that's cap because you got the biggest mouth in boxing. And where'd your mouth go? All of a sudden, you ain't got no mouth. The world probably wish you didn't speak like when you was a kid. And probably wish you didn't have no mouth like the Funko Pop. You dig? So the point I'm making is, how are you selling merch all in the Kool-Aid, don't even know the flavor, jumping in beasts with nightcap and all this, and you supposed to be in the fight of your life? It really makes me just not believe you at all. Like, you're not worried about this girl. You don't think this girl is really, I mean, it's up to K. Scott to try to prove you wrong, but I don't believe you're anticipating this is going to be your toughest fight. Because again, if we know the grueling nature of boxing, I don't think you would have all this time to be like, oh, these YouTubers, you said you weren't worried about negativity. You said you just blocked the YouTubers, right? Oh, if they be lying about me, so I block them. I don't even watch it. But then you just did a live stream saying, I just watched a YouTube video and they was talking about me selling merch. I thought you don't watch that type of content. And you're supposed to be in training camp. Now, some of you may not know, depending on how deep you are into this boxing thing, but I know because I'm a boxing channel, right? what Claressa's really mad at is she's fashioned herself as this like fashionista model. She literally was shadowboxing like, I get paid to fight. I get paid millions to model. Who's paying you millions to model? Where's that modeling contract? Right? And now she believes she's like more than a boxer and a model and a fashion icon or whatever. And she got humbled a couple years ago when she started beefing with Gervonta Tank Davis. And this is what he said. Tank Davis said, so Ryan Garcia beat Buddy at fair and square. What the French bulldog face lady, parentheses Claressa, have to say about this? So he called Claressa Shields, you're seeing it on your screen, a French bulldog. And then he goes on to say, and she blocked me. I should have blocked her for the way she looked. Her scare me. So Tank was trolling her. Then there's allegedly a Tank Twitter burner account or something, and it got a picture of Claressa with that Aruba makeup. Right? I don't know if that's really Tank, but that's what people are saying. And Claressa was like, why you have my picture up as your profile pic? You know what I mean? So that's why you betting against Tank, because he pretty much called you UGLY and said you ain't got no alibi and called you that Frenchie. He called you that French Montana, if you know what I mean, that French bulldog, right? So now we know how Claressa Shields is. She's vindictive. She's full of venom and vitriol. She's very spiteful. So now you're not feeling Tank, because the other thing, again, I'm a boxing channel. I interviewed, and Tank was right there, Claressa Shields, in Las Vegas, and they were cool. So back in the day, they were cool. And I have the footage of it, right? I have footage of Claressa right here and Gervonta right here coexisting, and everything was peaceful and cool. For whatever reason, per usual, notice this. Claressa, how come she can't keep no friends? Nigeria, Jada the boxer, acquaintances at least like Gervonta Tank Davis, right? Layla Ali, kind of an early mentor and friend. Alicia Baumgartner was a friend at a point. Franchon Cruz Dezern was someone she knew very well, acquaintance / friend. You know, I'm not going to go into depth. You had Shalita. Allegedly, you were staying at her house. That's your own family, your cousin. You know what I mean? How come you can't keep no friends? Remy, you were in Remy's inbox asking for fashion tips, and then you snatched her married man, her husband. You know what I mean? So for me, all this is bizarre. You can't keep no friends. That the common denominator is you. And you look at the behavior, now you can kind of map it out, right? You could be like, Tank is a good fight for Shakur. Like, you making it sound like Tank a sucker or something, you know what I mean? And you trying to put extras on it, right? Talking about, I got 100K, Lil Tank. Like, why he got to be Lil Tank? You fight him then. You fight Tank. You want to fight a man so bad, you fight Tank and see how that play out. You know what I mean? It says he's so little. Do you had an unknown random dude from wherever, Russia or Lithuania or wherever dude was from, Arturs or whatever the dude is, and he floored you in sparring. You had to go get a butter knife from the car or whatever, as the story goes, right? So you trying to sneak this and add extras to it, right? That's deeper than just a bet, right? And then Shakur just went to Zuffa, which PBC and Al Heyman and Gervonta Davis just did a partnership with DAZN. Shakur was fighting on DAZN. Zuffa got a deal with Paramount. So these boxers, these new Gen Z boxers, let me clarify, they always be like, you guys don't know boxing. You don't know boxing. You guys are casuals. Okay, so I just explained it. PBC is with DAZN doing business in Amazon Prime, and Paramount's over here, and they just signed Zuffa. So what makes you even believe Shakur is even finna fight Tank anytime soon, given the kind of the spacing between promotional entities and the Cold War, right? For you to publicly be putting that on wax, like, oh, I got 100K. And then you selling merchandise looking like a full-on yard sale, flea market, Slauson swap meet, rummage sale on your kitchen island. Your house look dirty with no furnishings, right? But you got 100K on a sports bet that don't even involve you in men's boxing. You put 90 on your wrist. So between playing Pat Poose's allowance, and probably feeding his gambling habit, you just got an extra 100K that, not that you have it, but you have it and you should be putting towards Gervonta Davis, Shakur Stevenson mythical fight. That's why you selling wolf tickets. They got a $7,000 lien on property that was your granny's house or whatever, and that didn't get cleared up the proper way. You know what I mean? So it's like, how you got 100K for a random sports bet that don't even involve you? This is what I'm talking about. And you remember the book, Where's Waldo? They should come out with a new one. Where's your PR? Every time Claressa does this weird stuff, we should be like, where's PR? Where's PR? That's the question that most boxing fans who've been following the Claressa Shields story have at this point. Where is your PR person? Because it's looking weird. You got allegedly a dangerous fight and a big fight coming up, and you all in other people's mix and doing bets and all types of stuff. It's looking real weird.